want to talk PTSD. A little heads up, this might be a difficult one for some to hear, but with an ever younger veteran population and a population of veterans who more and more are spending time settling overseas compared to in the UK, the traditional means of getting support for things like PTSD might not always apply to everyone who needs the help. The guys at PTSD Resolution are a relatively new charity who are working to support service leavers and their loved ones with just these issues. And the CEO of PTSD Resolution is Charles Highett. Charles, thank you so much for joining us. How did the idea for this organisation come about?
Well, in 2009, two people met whilst doing training as a therapist in the Human Givens Institute. One person was a chap called Tony Gavain, a former colonel, who I actually served with in Cheshire Regiment, and Piers Bishop. And they knew that veterans who leave have, in many cases, serious mental health issues, and they wanted to see how they might help. They also knew that the service at that time was pretty poor from the statutory side. And so therefore there was, as in all charities, where there's a vacuum, a charity fills in. So from that point, they put together a program which engaged about 200 therapists to treat veterans from all around the country and extended it to reservists and the families as well. Since then, we've treated over 4,300 people, and I have to say the degree of effectiveness is very high indeed.
And the way you guys do it is slightly different. I mean, I think a lot of people, when they think about mental health and therapies and treatments, imagine that traditional sat on a big couch in a therapist's office. That's not necessarily the case with you guys, is it?
Well, COVID was a big game changer for everybody. And within the first few days of COVID hitting the UK, we launched the online program whereby we knew that we couldn't do any face-to-face treatment, so we decided to use Zoom and other mechanisms to reach out to people. And surprisingly, we found that the Zoom or the online method for treatment was as effective as the face-to-face.
Do you think in a way people are almost more receptive to this kind of access? Does it feel less invasive to tap onto a Zoom link rather than have to actually go somewhere and physically be in a space?
Yeah, I think the fact of having to drive somewhere and find the location, park up, get into a place you haven't been to before, and then opening yourself up in a clinic is something which is potentially unsettling. Whereas if you do it from the safety of your own home, the quiet of your own home, you haven't had this lead up of having to travel to the place, you can actually be very relaxed, and the numbers of people who are contacting us from overseas are increasing, and of course the online capability gives that ability to deliver the treatment, and all they have to do is contact us, and normally they have an appointment within about 12 days, and that's our run rate, which is exceptionally fast.
That 12 days, that is an incredible thing to hear. Charles, if anyone is listening to this now thinking maybe this is something I'd like to explore for myself, or maybe I know someone who might want to access this support, how can people get in touch with you guys?
The first thing to do is to go online to ptsdresolution.org. That's ptsdresolution.org. And then you'll find very quickly the telephone number. All you have to do is call that number, somebody will answer the telephone, and you're on your way. It's as easy as that.
Charles Highett from PTSD Resolution, thank you so much for joining us on BFBS today.
It's been a great pleasure, thank you.